Steve Ball from Washington Post. Bruce, given the results from the other day, what makes you believe that this team will respond in the way that's necessary at this late stage of the cycle?
Well, we'll be prepared to play the game. The game against Costa Rica the other day was a fine line between winning, losing, or getting a point in that game. We were a little unlucky with a couple of decisions by the referee. That game really deserved to be 0-0, if anything. So we were a little unlucky. We didn't play particularly well. I believe we'll learn from that and give a better performance tomorrow.
Kevin, back to really time. Thanks for your time. The weather's supposed to be really, really bad tomorrow, and it's a short turnaround. Do you expect the weather to play?
What is bad weather? It's hot? Okay.
Yeah. And humid. Do you expect that to have an impact on the game? And like Mexico, should we expect there to be some changes in the lineup because of that?
Well, the weather will have an effect on the game. We'll have changes in our lineup, partly due to our game on Friday and the conditions as well.
What kinds of things are you going to try to do to maybe get Christian Pulisic a little bit more on track and also find a little bit more balance so that some other guys are going to go ball?
I have no control of getting Christian Pulisic on track. He's fouled just about every time he touches the ball. The referee hasn't protected him in a number of situations. Other players are doing fine. You know, every game's different, so I'm not going to concern myself with any of the past games. Tomorrow will be a different game, and we'll see how the game unfolds.
There's been, since you arrived in November, a sense of urgency given Mr. Start. With the result Friday and only 3 games left as of now, can there be a heightened sense of urgency?
Every game we've played in has been no different in this game tomorrow. It's almost like every game is a must game. So I don't think there's a heightened sense, but certainly we're well aware of the situation in the standings at the moment. We're down to 3 games. When I started, we had 8 games, and I thought at that time everything goes down to the last game, and nothing has changed. So we're basically in the same position we've been in since March.
With the yellow card situation, I don't know if the guys that you guys said 1 game from suspension, does that inform your lineup decisions and playing decisions?
No, officiating in CONCACAF is highly unpredictable. You have no idea what's going to go on in games, and it seems to me that the referees are refraining from issuing yellow cards because of that rule, which is, without going into a long debate, just a stupid rule. Over 18 games, I think that you'd be punished for having a second yellow card. That's essentially what it is, and I think it keeps cards in the pockets of referees.
Are you making a big change in this lineup based off of the outcome with Costa Rica?
I don't know what you mean by big changes, but every game is different. The Costa Rica game is different than the game tomorrow, and we will play the team that we think can win the game.
No sé exactamente qué significa con un gran cambio, pero el partido contra Costa Rica fue un partido diferente, pero vamos a jugar para ganar el partido. The question was, what will be the difference between this match and the 6-0 game that was played in the United States, taking into consideration the climate change and difference of location?
Well, it will be different. How different it is, I don't know. We'll be able to answer that question after the match tomorrow.
Nosotros vamos a jugar diferente. ¿Qué diferente? No estoy seguro, pero después del partido mañana vamos a saber. The question is based off of comments that Honduras Federation President made yesterday on refereeing. What are your thoughts on Chicas, who will be refereeing tomorrow?
The comments were that Puebla Gran Chicas favored the United States.
I don't know how you answer that question. I don't think any referee is going to favor the United States when we go on the road in World Cup qualifying in CONCACAF.
Have you told the players anything unique about Honduras, what to expect, guys that haven't been down here before? What's unique about sort of this game as opposed to Mexico or Panama or some of the other places?
Yeah, we have spoken about it, not in detail, but we will a little bit more over the next day in preparation for the match.
The question is if a tie is a favorable outcome with the matches that are upcoming against Panama and Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, we clearly want to achieve a goal of getting at least a point, but our goal is to get 3 points tomorrow.
Claramente queremos por lo menos ganar un punto, pero sí deseamos tener 3 puntos después de mañana. It's very few times that we see the U.S. in this position. They usually have the ticket to the World Cup by now. What are your thoughts? How do you see this situation?
I can't speak for the past. I coached in 2 different cycles, and I know we didn't have a ticket in one of them to the World Cup at this point in time, so it's not different. When I took the job in November and we had 0 points after 2 games, we fully anticipated the fact that this would go the full 10 games in order to qualify the U.S. team, and that looks to be the case.
No puedo hablar sobre el pasado. Yo sí he dirigido la selección en para dos diferentes mundiales. Cuando una vez no teníamos el boleto garantizado para llegar al mundial, cuando tomé esta posición en noviembre no teníamos puntos, pero yo esperaba que íbamos a llegar a esta parte, que íbamos a estar en esta posición para calificar para el mundial.
Play a game in an environment like this on the road, and maybe the conditions aren't what you see in the U.S. Is there a certain, I guess, quality, like poise or the guys need to have?
Yeah, I think you need to have the experience in playing under these conditions, which I think a majority of our players surely have. Our MLS players play a lot of games in hot and humid conditions on artificial fields, traveling in worse conditions. This is not like it's going to be anything new to our players. It'll certainly be challenging, but I think we have enough experienced players to understand the circumstances.